What is going on? Your McLaren Speed Trap World Champion coming at you, and we're here with Law again. A little OP12 preview action, and we got the slash variant, and we got the hyper slash variant because we're gonna start messing around with stuff. I wanted to start with the extreme on one end, and by hyper slash, I mean we got Mihawk and Hawkins to hit the turn 2 combo, and then ideally not to like high roll or anything. You're gonna want to leave Mihawk on the board, because he's really good against the aggro decks. And also, too, depending on what you have in hand, the next turn just putting one down on him and then attacking for 3 attacks is very, very strong. But it also has a pretty crazy like curve combo if you're able to turn 2, hit Mihawk into Hawkins, and then turn 3, depending on where you're going, Cavendish into like Capone, and then into any of our other 5 drops here, or even another Hawkins, is very, very strong to get your board. You can have 4 characters on the board by turn 3, and you can just overwhelm most people, and it's been very satisfying so far. And then with that, the new Perona search is awesome. It's great having 2 just 1-cost searchers. It's a lot more efficient. It's a lot easier to play on either going for first or second. And then I have Bonnie instead of Kid and Killer, because playing around and testing stuff, Bonnie being the same, both of them basically being 2 Don, but Bonnie becoming a pseudo blocker has been like really, really good, especially against the more like aggro decks, to just slow them down, and then it just gives us more time to build up board. And then ideally get to your 7-drop Law, and then once he's on the board, you can start like clearing most stuff or just going for the game. You bounce back, cycle him if you need a heal, but outside of that, so normal build up. We got the restand Law to hit off a combo here. You're mostly going to be playing this off in Cavendish mid-game. However, though, the most important card I feel like that I've been playing with is probably Capone. So to go for endgame, since we don't have the freeze Bonnie in this build, it's just like all slash characters basically, Capone is very, very important, and especially the restand Law. So if you're able to leave yourself at 1 life, you put pretty much the next turn for 2 Don, so you got to put 1 on the leader and then 1 for Capone. You put restand Law in your life, and then as long as you have either Cavendish, our blocker Law, another restand Law, Hawkins on the board, you're able to just put the rest of your 8 Don basically on them, and then you just tee off for a couple like 13, 14k attacks, and normally it's good enough to take out anybody, especially if you have this Law on the board still as well. But very satisfying combos that you can pull off. I would say the slash version as well is also a lot easier than the Supernovas versions. It's a lot less technical because you're mostly just trying to set up your key slash characters, and then you're just kind of going downhill once you get them all set up. And then instead of Hody, we got the new event as well, the Dead Man's Game here. It is searchable off in Perona, which is nice, and this is just pretty much like a cheaper Hody that you can also use as counter. It's super cool. I've been doing fine with 2, but I could definitely see going up more. And then, yeah, we'll start out here, probably just from there, because I definitely don't think Mihawk and Hawkins is, like, needed. So if you have other cards you like and want to run the slash build, you definitely don't. But I figured we start with the 1 extreme, and then we'll work our way and bounce around from there. All right, we got some blue-purple Luffy action. They chose to go first, so we're rocking second here, so we can hit a double search action. Well, I guess we're grabbing Hawkins here. And then we'll throw down Bonnie as well. Again, I like Bonnie a little. Now that I've been playing a little bit more, Bonnie's actually a bit better than Kid and Killer, I feel, just because of becoming like a pseudo blocker. And if your opponent tries to go aggro, then you're just getting a search every turn. So that's why I've been going with Bonnie, but I feel like Kid and Killer again is still fine if you prefer Kid and Killer as your search. But with Perona, I like doing all the 1-drops that we get. So, and okay, it looks like we're setting up a wall here. So we can drop, this down here, put 1 here. Throw down this here, go here. Then we'll go this, use our card action. We'll bounce this back, and then play yet another blocker there. So we got the blocker wall set up. Alrighty, and then they get rid of Bond Clay. Interesting. So I guess we'll see what they do here and play around that. we can just, yeah, rest that there. If they're using God Thread to target any of our slash characters, we get to just rest the blocker instead. So I'm okay with that. And then I'm also okay with them doing this. Alright. I can do this and we'll counter with that. Keep ourselves chilling here. Okay, so what do we want to do? Alright, let's hit a search. Let's see what we can find. Alright, there is Cavendish there. So let's throw down Cavendish, restand 2. So I'm fine with that. We can use a Law here. We'll attack them 6 and 4 here. See what they do with that. Then I can search with Bonnie. Alright, hit a search here. There we go. Things you love to see. Our big Law there. We'll attack them here, and then I'll bounce Luffy back to hand, and we'll get info, see what this is. But I'll probably just leave it there. Because I want to leave a blocker, have some space on the board, because we have Bonnie as our search. So we're kind of chilling on that front. And then next turn, we'll be at 8, so we can go here and here, and turbocharge up Cav. So, alright, we got our Mihawk 2K chilling there. So they're at 8, they're throwing down Katakuri, okay. 6 on 1. I'm fine with that. So we can play our Luffy search to get things going here. So I'll throw this down. Grab Capone here. And then we can, yeah, throw down Law. Put the restand there. Put 1 on here. And then we'll attack them here. Get a couple. We'll see what they do. And we can put some big pressure on them. Well, that kind of stinks, but it is what it is. All right, we'll bounce this back. Do this. Restand. I'm then going to take these 2. Put on Cav so we can attack 8. Get 2 back. So now they have to get rid of 2 cards or take the life. Alrighty. And then take these here. And then attack them 8 again. Force them to, yeah, block this and then give us a card. Or they're going to give it a 2. Alright, I'm fine with that. It would have been better for them to just block with Katakuri and get rid of 1. But I guess they forgot Katakuri's a blocker. So. But basically for us now is just, we got our little blockers and stuff. So we can do that. I mean, alright, the 9 Mom is annoying. But it is what it is. He's always going to get something. So. I assume they're sending Cavendish to the... Oh, never mind. They're sending Blocker Law to the bottom. Interesting. Okay. We'll make them not want to do that, I guess. I can go no. We can do this, and we'll get rid of the Perona search just because we've seen so many of these, so we can yeah, mess around with her stuff there. But all right. Got another Cavendish here. Let's throw down Luffy. See what we can find. Honestly, I guess just another 2K. I could drop this for 5 and then just bounce this back and then play out like Capone or something. Through that, use card action, bounce this back, play Capone here. And then we'll put 2 on Cav again, attack them 8. Here. See what they do off that. Alright, I'm just going to attack them 6. See what they do. So I can get like a little stuff back. Alright, then we'll attack them 8 again. See what they do with this. Because now we can put the pressure on them. So, alright, there's a Gum Gum Giant. And a Gear 2. Alright, cool. And then we can put 1 here. Hit him for a 10. So they choose a block. We still get 2 cards out of the deal. If they're able to. So, alright. We get them down to low cards in hand. We should be in an okay spot. Unless they get another 9 Mom. That's pretty much it. But can sell out with counter in hand if needed. They only have, yeah, attacking here. As they, yeah, can restand this. But if they don't have a way to refill life, we got rid of got them to get rid of counter and stuff. So there's a Gum Gum Giant. Okay. So they may leave at least one. Unless they're going to do the strat where they leave a bunch of Don up and they're just hoping for like other stuff. Okay. Or yeah, there's the Stinky 9 Mom. Okay. Well, we'll see what they do. And so, alright, they're sending Capone. So I assume they're going to attack Cavendish here. There's not too much I can do about that, unfortunately. So 6 on 6. Yeah, I have to go no. Well, unless I'm on like this play here next turn. Because I could just focus to keep this up. To have this and this. And we'll counter with this one. Because I mean, I still have 4 life. So we'll just see what they do. So 9 on 6. If I had another 2K, I would. But alright, I'm fine with that. And then assume their attack here. And then they can attack with Katakuri here. 8 on 6. Alright. Have to do that there. And then 9 on 9. Alright, we'll go no. And then, dang, I really want to make this play. For this here to get Don back. But I don't think we can. We'll just do that. Alright. Well, we're chilling here. We know they have the one for Gum Gum Giant. So, alright, let's throw this down. I get the restand law. Can we attack enough here to make it so like it doesn't matter? We might be able to. So I drop this down for 1. Gives me 8 left to attack them with because I could put 4 on this, attack 10. If we go 10, 10, 10. Alright, let me put 1 on here. We'll attack them here. See what they do. Alright, so they take that. So leave me with 3. I mean, I could just load him up, though, as well. We could just do, like, a ton. Attack him for a bunch here, and then attack him again. Alright, let me put our 1 here. We'll attack him 6. See what they do with this. Because if this works, we'll be in a pretty good spot. So attack him 12 and 12. Basically. Okay, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Attack him 12 on 6, see what they do. Okay. Well, we got this to work out. Alright, cool deal. Alright, we drop this down, take our top life, put this here. Do this, play restand, bounce this, and then rip another 12. And nothing they can do about that. So, there we go. The power of Capone and restand law for late game. And if you have a 5 cost out, you can just go crazy with it. Alright, we have our Mihawk Hawkins combo. So I'm going to keep this even though it kind of breaks my normal rules here. But we have our combo. I want to test it out and see how it goes, especially against Zoro. And kind of what they do. Because my plan, again, is not to bounce Mihawk back. Is just to put it down on Mihawk and then attack. And just be like super, super aggressive the best we can here with all of our stuff. You know what? I will throw this down. As we have some more plays and stuff we can do. And if I can keep Hawkins up, that'll make things kind of fun as well. Because next turn, we can go Mihawk into Hawkins. And go from there. And put them kind of in a weird pressure spot. Because then, do they attack Hawkins? And lose a life? Or what do they kind of do? So, we'll see what happens and go from there. Them attacking 5. Well, if these weren't bricks, I'd do something different. But unfortunately they are. So Cavendish, okay. And then dropping down a block of themselves. All right, well, we'll throw down Mihawk into Hawkins here. We'll attack them 5 back. And then we'll drop Luffy, see what we can find. And go from there. I mean, we have a play next turn with Law here. So let me throw this down. And yeah, let's grab this Law. Because if needed, we can, yeah, drop this down. Just bounce the Luffy back, play Capone. And then the turn after, try to find something for this Law. Ideally, something fun there. But yeah, interested to see what they're going to do here with Tashigi. Because we're able to kind of go wide. And then next turn, again, I don't need to really necessarily use leader ability next turn. We can just put the one down here and then just swing a bunch of 5s at them and then see what they do. So, and okay, they choose the block. Because a lot of people are like weird about Hawkins, which is fun. So I can not worry about stuff there. So we'll have to take that. And then I guess we'll see if they attack Hawkins or not. And we get a trash of life. So, alright. Trash their life there. Get them down to 3, which I'm alright with. And, alright, we'll take this one here. Okay, we get another Law. Okay. Well, we got all this stuff here. Alright, we'll attack 2 on 1 there to get this out of here. And then just kind of go from there. Alright, so then I'll attack them 5 here. See what they do. As we just pretty much get that extra little life down there. To put some pressure on them. Because now we can go back-to-back Laws here. I just need kind of a play to go around for them. So, we'll go from there. Alright, they block out that. Alright, I'm fine with that. Attack them again 5. See what they do with this. Alright, they sack their blocker there. Cool. So we drop this down, use card action, bounce this, play out Capone. And we'll leave that there. So, now we get to put them, again, in continual, like, tricky spots here. Because I'll be able to just keep poking away with Mihawk. And going from there. While he's on the board. So, we'll see. Because I could go... I guess it just depends. I might have to drop a search next turn, depending on what we're able to draw and stuff like that, and then go from there. So, they're leaving 2. So I assume they'll attack here. Unless I wanted to make a play a counter here. Because I just need the 1 search, and then that would leave both here. For next turn. You know what? We'll try something wild and wacky. Let's counter. Hit a counter. And then... Alright, we get another Capone. Cool. Okay, so we can throw this down here. Honestly, Hawkins is fine. Because then I can drop this. We can throw this here. I'll put the 1 here. And then we'll just attack him here. And then next turn, I mean, they kind of have to play Mihawk if they got Mihawk. But Hawkins into our life so we can draw a couple cards and then trash one. Alrighty. And then, yeah, let me do this. We'll leave Hawkins there. And there we go. So we'll just hit a little heal job. And then try to put them in a weird spot. Is that we can potentially block this here. And then we have Capone for Zoro. Because then when they hit us in the life, we'll get Hawkins' ability to filter some cards there. But we'll see. I do have a play with this, this, and this here. So we can do that. Alright, they're throwing down Cavendish. Interesting. Okay. So it only puts them at the 2. So they can't use leader ability here. So we'll play around with that. And then, yeah, I'm fine with taking this one. We'll use the trigger, draw 2, trash 1. Honestly, we'll trash a Luffy here because we got the blocker I was looking for. And then, all right, they decided not to attack. Interesting. With them doing that. All right, let me throw this down. Do this here. We'll put 1 here. Leaves me with these. I could put 1 on this, attack them here for 5, and then we could go with a bunch of stuff off of that. So, all right, we'll attack them 5. See what they do. Because I could just use the last 2 to drop another blocker here, because I might bounce this back for the 2K in hand, so we can have plenty of defense. So, all right, they do that. Then we'll attack them 6 on 5. See, they got 2 blockers, so it's going to make it tough anyways. But now with both of these on the board, next turn they kind of like have to go for it, and then we can potentially wipe their board and then go from there. So, all right, they do that. Okay, then we'll attack them here. They take that there, and then, yeah, bounce this back. We'll go no, and then drop this down here. So, we got our blockers set up. I could be pretty aggressive with, yeah, taking the hits if needed. And then we can kind of go from there. So, see what they're able to search. It's pretty much just as long as they of the one event that lets them resend their leader a bunch. That's the only thing that'll make things not great for us. So, we'll see. But I do have the 2K defense back to hand to ideally block out some stuff here. So, Cavendish will let him get the 2 back. And then, yeah, we'll see what we do next turn. Because, I mean, I could also potentially just go for it. Because we are also just 1 search away. If I can find restand law, and if we're at 1 life, we can make a big play on that too, and then probably just win next turn. So, we shall see, and then go from there. But yeah, we got 2 blockers. Get rid of. I would prefer to hold on to law here just for the chance if we can find restand law and make that play. But we'll see what happens. So they're throwing down Tashigi. Okay. So I doubt they'd attack with Mihawk, especially if we show that we have counter in hand to counter out some of this stuff. So we'll just see what they do with this stuff here. But yeah, I can use Mihawk as a 2K, which I'm fine with, to block out of either the Cavendish attack or the Tashigi attack. So they're going 8 on 6. Alright, let's just do this one here. And then we'll see what they do with the other stuff. Because they're at 3. They're putting on 2, so if they put... So I can counter this one. Alright, so this is what we'll do here. I can do... Dang it, well I need this is the problem. Alright, we can do this here. We'll do this and this to make a play. Because they only have the 2, so don't have too much to like fear here. And again, I'm just looking for a restand law and we win. So, alright, we'll block that there. Then take this. Alright, so big money, no whammies. We get Cav. Alright, here we go. And we got him. Hell yeah. So we are chilling on that. I can then, yeah, rip them. Alright, we'll attack him 6 on 5. See what they do. There's straight up nothing they can do to win this one. So, yeah, power of Capone, restand law, finish. Going to come into play here. Because, yeah, I can just attack him here. And then we'll put 7 on law, attack him for 2 13s. And Nothing they can do. So, alright, they do that. We'll attack him 9 on 5. So we do that there. And then we'll attack him 9 on 5 again. Alright. Attack him here. I mean, we won't even need to do the combo, to be honest, because there's nothing they can do. So, and then, yeah, we just put a... It was close. It was there if needed. But, yeah, basically we play... if by somehow they were able to count out of those, again, you drop down Capone, restand Law into life, bounce it back with leader, and then you get to rip another massive attack to close out a game.